really just has a stronger signature kit, overall a safer signature kit. I don't know if he's going for matchup inexperience. He's starting to use the signatures more as the set went on, but I feel like that was just like the Sandstorm effect of downloading his opponent and wasn't really necessarily inherent to the signature kit of Magyar. So I'm really curious to ask him, after all of this, why the Magyar?
Yeah, it is interesting. Like, you talked about how there's some justification because he did win a community tournament with this Magyar. Like, there was definitely, like, more than just he played Wheel of Characters and landed on Magyar. But at the same time, it's very interesting because, like, the biggest thing that Magyar brings to the table that Jaehyun doesn't is the defense. That's the, like, #1 thing, and that's not exactly the most valued stat. Like, yeah, Dex is pretty low value, but defense is also not one of those really popular stats to have nowadays.
And if you see people swapping over, it's like S-Scrape swapping over to the Roland for all of his defense. I still don't really necessarily understand that too much, but at least you have the sword there, and then S-Scrape specifically is a lance guy. Like, he's doing a great job with the greatsword, don't get me wrong. Again, this isn't like a poke at greatsword, it's really a poke at hammer, and then specifically like the signature kit that Magyar brings to the table. I think it's more competitive on Jaehyun.
Okay, goes in for the double down, and Java gonna punish. Ground pound connects, down air denies the wall touch, and Java immediately cleans things up.
Gonna swap over to that orb. I'm also curious because a lot of people think Dusk is really good, and I just feel like I haven't seen the proof in the pudding. Of course, it's a lot of people who are really very good at the game and typically know more things than I do, especially ahead of time, which characters are good, what is really going to push the meta forward. But I'm liking this Dusk from Java so far.
Yeah, it is definitely an interesting pick. You don't see too many Dusks out there, and you also just like don't see that much orb. We've seen a little bit more this weekend, but like we said earlier, it's like it's mostly been on the Fate, and then of course that little bit of Red Raptor that we saw from Radish.
Oh, the spot dodge to get through the side light from Java, then opting into gravity cancel it for the D-Light closer on the Greatsword. Landing back on the main stage, being careful, dashing in with that in-light. Underspacing and overspacing. Java was too high in the air to get hit by that D-Light. He finds the punish. Side light, side air. Weapon toss coming out. No, he just pushes out and goes for the dare. Very, very deep in the push-off column. Again, having this lead on Sandstorm in game 1.
All right, Sandstorm. There's the hammer. This is that other weapon. We've seen a decent amount of greatsword, but this is the other half of the Magyar kit. What is Sandstorm going to do with it? We saw earlier he got that double downlight into the side air, but is there more to it? So far, really not throwing out too many attacks. Again, downlights come out in Java right above it. Jump, gravity cancel, side light. Stomp, side air. Not enough.
That should be enough to do it. And he was there to make sure it was guaranteed with that falling unarmed side air. Juggling those weapons, going back, of course, over to the greatsword. That's been primarily his damage doer, and also his KO grabber, though, of course, we just saw him started off with the hammer.
Dude, Java's doing a really good job of changing not only the direction he dodges out of Sandstorm's strings, but also when he does. Sometimes he'll do it right after the opener, sometimes he'll do it after the bridge, and then he changes direction as well. Sandstorm's not sure when to go for the read or where to go for the read every time. Nair connects. Dare to get over it.
Sandstorm is jumping every single time after he gets hit. So if Java comes in with that the signature that did, like that signature they did previously, he wasn't able to find connections with it because Sandstorm jumped immediately after getting hit. He was too high in the air for that grounded signature, especially the signature that ends grounded. So maybe go for a more aerial option after Sandstorm gets hit next time. That way you can catch him in the air high. Java setting up for the potential edge guard. Goes back over. He actually just drifted off the stage. What's happening?
Neutralite. That's what's going to hit between the two of them. Sandstorm hits a side light, but this is where Greatsword can struggle a little bit, is if you don't have something like Jaehyun's neutral sig, you might start to struggle to get those KOs, and Java going to take the game there with that side air.
And yeah, exactly what you just said is like one of the reasons that Use was so successful with Jaehyun at the World Championship, is he didn't struggle to find KOs. He was also just finding them with like raw greatsword light attacks as well, but he was also able to use that signature kit successfully on the sword, on the greatsword, to find those KOs earlier. That's why Jaehyun is so highly sought after, is because that struggling to knock out problem that greatsword can have, especially when you get really deep into stocks. It's not as big of a problem with sword because of consistent KO options, and it's not as big of a deal on Jae-Yun because of that signature kit that's a little bit more user-friendly.
Yeah, I really feel like if you're going to be playing this Magyar, and of course Sandstorm could 100% prove me wrong.
Absolutely.
But I feel like generally you want to be doing that thing where you build up a lot of damage with the greatsword, then you swap over to the hammer, look for a stomp side air, and then rinse and repeat. Looks like he's going to throw away the hammer. Now it's over to the greatsword.
And then that's where I look at hammer and I'm like, okay, if you're not Kaina, you're not hitting D-lights as consistently, then you're not going to be able to find that KO potential. Sandstorm here looking to find the early KO. We're about 40 seconds into this game. Gets the 3-piece and the KO. Only about halfway through this first stock. He's around 100 to 110 damage on this stock.
That time, Sandstorm did not struggle to find that finishing blow. Now it's on Java to find a rebuttal. Goes down for the dare, goes for the ground pound. Sandstorm still has enough movement. Java gets away from him.
Being very careful how he moves over to that weapon spawn so he doesn't get caught.
Dare.
Nice.
Weapon toss, not gonna hit.
Oh,
he goes out there.
Java's like really willing to go down there unarmed. That time he secures the KO, but even like the edge guard that happened before that where he threw his weapon toss after hitting the ground pound against Sandstorm, he could have just kind of held onto the weapon and then really thrown another ground pound, but he feels very comfortable in his unarmed on the edge if the weapon toss ends up missing. Wow, the just raw ground pound following up off of that. Ooh. This time he goes high with the insync.
Java finding some great damage here against Sandstorm. Catches him with that tail end of the sidelight. He's been going for these neutral sig reads. Very rarely have I seen them connect, though.
Has the lead on Sandstorm here. He's very aerial, so he's not going to get that sidelight side air set up as easily. Sandstorm just finding like one hit here and there.
Ooh, this air puts Java over the corner. Dare puts Java real deep.
Weapon toss.
GC
goes with the GCD, like he could have just thrown his weapon, man. Sandstorm also really not afraid to put considerable resources out there over on the edge.
But it worked out. Java was not able to get the wall touch. Once again, Java, like you said, willing to go off stage unarmed. Well, that was a burn dodge coming out from Java, so Sandstorm immediately goes for the big three.
Java has some time. Second exclamation part coming out. Wow, that was enough to KO!
Yeah, despite all the defense that Sandstorm has, coming in with 9 defense on the Magyar, was not enough there.
He doesn't seem too focused on keeping Sandstorm off of that weapon spawn. He mostly just wanted to play around it, use it as a little bit of a trap, and hit him as many times away as he could, but not focus on stripping the field and going back over to that spear. Finally, makes a connection with that signature. He's been hunting for that so much.
Ooh, Sandstorm, he wanted to go over the wall. Java's gonna hit the side air. Still no dodge, and yeah, Sandstorm not full committing to that finisher.
That's Java also holding on to his dodge. Making sure he doesn't get Sandstorm the free hit as he throws out the signature that he's thrown out so many different times and really only made a single connection with, and gets signature punished for the counter punish by Sandstorm, and that is the final stock of Java and the game.
And we already talked about how many of these North American games have gone to Game 5. This one kind of preparing itself to be another Game 5, currently tied 1-1 between the two of them.
That was a very easy punish for Sandstorm to finish that one up.
I'm glad he went with a SIG there, because
Yes,
I think a lot
absolutely.
of Greatsword players are just like, okay, Greatsword brain, let me hit that opener. I just got to go opener. Maybe I'll go for a GC finisher. But Sandstorm obviously just went, okay, SIG, heavy button, that'll do.
And that was the only signature he threw out the entire game. So he had a 100% signature hit rate that game, and it was a game changer.
All right, well, now he's on the hammer again. Haven't seen too much of it coming out from Sandstorm. Might not see too much of it here in this one either, because Java is putting out great damage with his orb, keeping it going. There's the weapon toss from Sandstorm, and Java with the denial.
Love the weapon starving. Okay, the jumping side air, sending Java over to the edge. Oh, there we go.
Yo! And it'll KO Java, be able to react. That last hit of the sidelight, and Sandstorm panicked, and Java's like, oh, let me just turn this around.
Yep.
Sidelight, downlight, downlight, Sair. Java with the big lead here.
And it's really easy because that move, like in terms of its existence and its active frames and its lifetime, it feels like it can be painfully long. As Java sets up, that ground pound was huge. That gave him the extension. Okay.
Puts him over the corner.
Nice turnaround GCD light. I like
Recovery.
that. There's the recovery. All right. Hammer gameplay on the edge. Java has been pushing Sandstorm on the edge and kind of been getting the better of him on the edge. Maybe things will be a little bit different if he has that hammer in his hand. I know he's throwing it around right now. I'm not sure if he's maybe just trying to hit Java with it or if he's ready to get rid of it. We'll see when the next weapon spawn comes in. The in-light, little bit of a dash forward, but no major commitment after.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's full committing to the weapon swap because you'll see some people immediately throw it away to hopefully get that weapon to spawn sooner. This time Sandstorm waits for it, swaps over to the greatsword, but he took a little bit of damage there. You can see he's a little bit more hurt than Java.
That hit Java just turned Sandstorm into the red, so he's getting close to that KO damage. Not necessarily right there, but Java might be triple there, and that's all he needed to get that second stock from Java and take the lead.
Java tried to, ooh, the
nice! The instant yoink.
Pulled him out of the sky, whipped him forward. Now everybody on final stocks. First tap of damage.
You see the dashing forward, dash back from Sandstorm. Just kind of playing a little bit of that footsie game, that over spacing that he had on the orb down air. Found his way in. He's keeping the pressure up. Even after he threw that weapon toss and didn't do anything. Is he going to clean this one up here and put it 2-1 in Sandstorm's favor? Yes, sir.
Sandstorm committing to the combo there. He actually whiffed, I think, the opener and the bridge and was still like, you know what? I'm going to go for the third one because what are you going to do about it? Hits him with the finisher to set up for the offstage engagement with the dare and finishes it off. Oh, okay, he did hit the down bridge.
Yeah, the start of that, they were both just like weirdly on top of one another, and I think Java didn't know what to do right in that moment in Sandstorm. He figured out exactly what was going on, dissected the situation just a little bit faster than Java. A couple frames later, and Java probably would have been ready with a game plan, but Sandstorm was just a little bit quicker.
Yeah, honestly, so many of these games have been decided by that little bit of a scramble and who reacted a little bit better within each of them. But here we are, game number 4, Sandstorm. If he wins this one, going on to the top 3. Gets that finisher, that side finisher, going to launch Java off stage. Once again, goes for the dare, but he changes it up with a weapon toss, and Sandstorm gets up above Java, which means Java's going to get damage, but no KO potential there.
Insig coming out. Java not making connection with it, still not making those connections with it. I mean, we saw last game, like, you can KO from the middle of the stage reasonably early. That signature right over the corner does it again. He needs to chill with that signature, man. He's definitely had way more misses and way more getting punished moments than he's had connections with.
It is a very big committal signature. It's nice because of the range that it provides, and it also has that angle where, like, if somebody gets hit by it off stage, they're gonna get spiked, but he's doing it a little bit too much, and Sandstorm's ready for it. Hits the signature this time, and Sandstorm gonna get the first KO.
He found himself in like the perfect spacing to pick up that signature wall. They were both just kind of standing there, moving back and forth just a little bit. And he thought, oh, actually, this is perfect signature territory. Here we go. I'm going to hit this and find the stock on it, give myself just a little bit of a lead. Tossing his weapon away, going to be at the disadvantage for a little while. Going up to that soft platform now all the way to the left side. It's on the soft platform on the right. Java's between Sandstorm and that weapon spawn. There's the side air sending him. Maybe he was just ready to get KO'd. Do you remember what his next weapon is going to be?
I want to say it's Greatsword.
I would think so, too.
He's generally been priming it pretty well.
Yes, it is that Greatsword, so he was likely not wanting to pick up that weapon spawn because he could have gotten hit by a side air, and then all of a sudden he's spawning back into the game, and his only option is a hammer.
Okay, here comes that range game that the Orb players have been bringing out. Those down airs, it works really well against Greatsword in particular because it doesn't have the best approach on those 45s.
Nice spot dodge there. Sandstorm's had some really solid spot dodges, both on Greatsword, nice punish, and then also on the hammer. He's been gravity canceling or just like waiting for his dodge to end and then going for a D-light on a lot of his hammer spot dodges as well. A little bit reminiscent of Kaina.
Good hits coming out from Java though. Recovery, Sandstorm spot dodging. Java was ready for it. He's got great damage, but is the defensive Magyar a little bit too much here? Another side air. What's the hit? Dare is gonna whiff and Sandstorm gets the wall touch.
even though that dare whiffed, Java did still do a good job of, like, it whiffed because Sandstorm was too far away from him, rather than whiffing and Sandstorm is too close and all of a sudden he's in your grill and he's taking your stock away.
Yeah, definitely did it in the safest way possible and maintained positioning, which is arguably more important because he was able to get that KO.
There's the side light sending Java over to the edge. There's the side light, or side air bouncing Sandstorm off of that wall. Java so high in the air. He's using like all of his movement options. You saw him in sweat beads.
Sandstorm chasing out there a little bit. Might be looking for the down air. Doesn't go over the corner, but he knows Java has the dodge there. You see him pull away, knock over the finisher. There's the recovery. Last stocks.
Sandstorm about 50 damage behind Java at this point, but Java is a full game behind Sandstorm. A victory here for the GOAT moves him beyond Java into a guaranteed top 3. Java needs a victory here to take it to a game 5 that we've seen so many different times today.
2-piece. Once again, Sandstorm getting those 2 pieces. Java not reacting to the opener this time. Over to the orb, doesn't catch off the weapon bounce.
Ooh, no major punish after that whip. Even just a single move there. Let's see if Java can hold his mental stability under pressure here against Sandstorm. Oh! Sandstorm goes with the insig. Java punishes, but the defense holding on. He's without a weapon.
Sandstorm picks up a greatsword. Doesn't have an easy KO tool. That's a whiff, but
please,
Sandstorm
bro.
whiffs his own punish. Off stage. Java. Is he going to go? Is he going to go?
He's making me so nervous, Duke.
Sideline.
What are you doing, Java? No!
Bhesports, you have a true combo.
Oh my gosh. If that is the loss for Java, that's going to be so heartbreaking. The side air still
going out there.
Maintaining.
Another nair. Deep red. This is the decider between who's going to game 5.
Oh
and we're going to
my
get a game
gosh.
5. Java holding on. Downlight into the recovery. Nail biter finish.
I was about to lose my mind.
Dude,
Oh
sideline
my
NSYNC.
gosh.
It's not true. I'm just saying. I know he's hit it a lot of times. It's not true.
He hasn't hit it that many times against Sandstorm. Oh my gosh. He's having to use like all of his strength to stay in this one. But if you look at the defense difference, right? Like we talk about Sandstorm and Magyar having like base 9 defense. Then let's look at Dusk. He's coming in with 4 defense. And yet, okay, let's say best case scenario, he's going into the defense stance, so he has 5 defense, which is, again, middle of the road. But then when we look at the damage that it took Java 644 damage to take out Sandstorm. It took Sandstorm 604 damage. 4 blocks of defense between these two, and yet there's only 40 damage by the time all things are said and done.
I really feel like that comes down to the weapon set in some ways, right? Like we talk about how Orb has those true combos, side light, side air. I guess side light and NSYNC if you really want to do it. It's not a true combo though, but like you have more KO tools.
Yes.
Whereas Greatsword, like if he wants to KO with Greatsword, he's either reading right so he can get the finisher, or he's getting a punish with a sig.
And he's reading wrong and going for the insig the other direction and getting punished with the orb recovery. So some wild, bold choices that came out from like both of them at the end of that game. Very interesting result in that one as we move into game 5. Sandstorm taking some time here on the stage banning, leaving Small Fortress, Demon
APOC.
Island, and APOC open. I bet we
APOC.
go Demon.
They've been going APOC like the whole set.
Go do it.
If he doesn't go APOC, it's
on,
like,
Java.
why?
I'm in your head. Demon Island. We're going to the Demon Island. It's already been decided.
We're both wrong. He's got the stream open. He's just waiting for the lanes to be like, all right, how do I just get both of them wrong?
No, he doesn't care about anything that I say because he is at this.
You should
level.
care about the fact that you talk about how you beat him in that money match.
Yeah, he's just still he just lets me get away with that, which is
insane to me.
crazy.
That's insane.
I think he just doesn't care,
Game
or he
5.
knows how foolish it sounds, and no one like actually takes
one
it
believes
seriously.
it. Game 5, though, winner of this goes into the top 3 here at the Trial of Ymir. Sandstorm versus Java on Small Fortress of Lions. Oh, Java,
Okay.
you're falling real low there.
A little bit of a fall. Sandstorm doesn't try to chase after him. Java really starting to slow things down here. He's spending time over on the wall, then he was spending time on the soft platform, then jumping, moving over to the right side, backing up now over onto the left side. Okay, back-to-back in-lights, does go for that unarmed in-light the wrong direction. He's still not really taking punishment for any of this stuff, but he doesn't have the highest damage output, so they're still relatively even.
Sandstorm kind of jump scaring with the 3 pieces. Doesn't connect with the finisher that time. Java able to dodge in time, but those greatsword strings did get some good damage out there, so Sandstorm was able to mitigate the difference.
Oh, nice.
Oh, but he just went for the nair and nothing else after.
Both players, same mentality, throwing their weapons at each other at basically the exact same time. Ooh. Hammer coming in. There's the D-light into the gravity cancel. Neutral Abby finds the signature there, and he even chain dodges like over the corner there, just to show he has the tech skill to do it.
Yo, gotta keep those hands warm whenever possible.
I mean, Java like, is that type of player to do those really high tech skill moments. So yeah, him keeping himself warm, like he needs to do that if he's going to be successful. It's very inherent to his play style. Not necessarily like chain dodging around the corner, but he's definitely an input demon.
Well, it's working out for him. He's got a damage advantage here over Sandstorm. Doing a great job spacing out these great sword approaches. Goes for the ground pound, but Sandstorm outspaces it. Side sig connects again. Java, though, one more side sig could give him the lead.
Dude, Java looks like straight up in Sandstorm's head with the way he's hitting those signatures now. It's a complete 180 from what we saw earlier. Like he's doing to Sandstorm what Sandstorm normally does to other people, where you're like, oh, that was a close game. Is this going to be the end of Sandstorm, the Sandstorm Slayer? And then he's like, nah, I'm gonna get completely in your head. I'm gonna show you how to play this game. I'm gonna show you why they call me the GOAT.
Well, now it's going to require Sandstorm getting into the head of Java if he wants to get this to the final stocks and potentially close out this game 5, because right now Java with a massive lead over Sandstorm, PR number 1.
Zoning game coming out from Java. Now he decides to move in and play that direct man-to-man offense, dodging in to get through, also dodging in yet again. You saw Sandstorm actually turn around, but he wasn't able to throw out a move in time.
I like the swap over to the hammer. Was like, you know what? I'm struggling to get the KO. Let me go for the hammer. Consistent KO tool here. But he doesn't catch any of the movement of Java, and Java gets back onto the stage. Sayer's going to whiff. Java with the punish. Sayer! That'll take him out. He doesn't have light to pick up, in case you were curious.
Okay. Good. Be a little bit worried if he did. It's good that he doesn't.
I mean, he has tap jump, so like...
Okay.
Weapon toss.
Light attack to pick up is like a Brawlhalla litmus test, though.
Yeah.
It's definitely a red flag!
Weapon toss will hit as well. Goes for another one. Sandstorm real far out there, but the weapon toss secures the wall touch. Caught the landing there with that downlight, reaching very far there, but Java's still able to pick up a weapon. Neutral light.
The weapon toss goes high. Looking for the next spawn. It comes right on top of him. Odin helping him out there. All he's getting is major weapon tosses out so far. That neutral light. He has the orb in hand. Just barely having the dodge to get through the down air. There's the side air punish, and that's it. Java in game 5 takes out Sandstorm.
He's going to the top 3. Sandstorm is done for the day. Java's orb play pulls it out for him. 599 damage dealt from Java.
Old Sparko picked 2 of the top 3.